Before I start, I should warn you I have a bad throat, so I apologise for the poor quality of the audio. Over the weekend, National Treasure, Dawn French, gave a masterclass in how to destroy one's career in under 45 seconds. If you're not from the UK and don't know who she is, Dawn French is apparently a comedian, despite very, very rarely ever doing anything remotely funny. French was one half of French and Saunders, and their TV show, I don't think it's ever made me laugh. Now, Jennifer Saunders is a comedy genius. We know that because she wrote and starred in Absolutely Fabulous, and that still looks good today. But to me, I'm guessing Dawn French was a very early example of box ticking, because I imagine in the early 1980s, when the executives at the BBC and Channel 4 were commissioning new material, someone must have said, look, there's a double act. They're both women, and one of them is extremely short and morbidly obese. That ticks a couple of boxes. That's diversity. And of course, French used to be married to Sir Lenny Henry, a comedian who's had a career spanning 50 years, despite only ever having one stand-up routine. All Lenny ever does is go out on stage and announce to the audience that he's black. Like we couldn't tell. But the thing is, French and Saunders came from an absolute golden age of British comedy. In the late 70s and early 80s, a new type of comedy was being performed, alternative comedy, led by greats like Ben Elton, Alexei Sayle, Nigel Planer, Ade Edmondson and the great Rick Mayall. And French and Saunders seem to tack on to that. But I still watch episodes of the Comic Strip Presents now, and I've never watched an episode and thought, great, Dawn French is in this one. It's more, oh, Dawn French is in this one. And of course he had the lead role in The Vicar of Dibley, a sitcom which would have been much better, in my opinion, had she not been in it. Anyway, now, she's destroyed any chance of making a comeback.
Complicated. No, but nuanced. But, you know, bottom line is no. Yeah, but, you know, they did a bad thing to us. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but no. But we want that land and we don't know, you know, got the history and we got, you know, no. Those people, not even people, are they really? No.
So that's Dawn French making light about the October the 7th massacre. That's not a good look. The day on which 1,200 men, women and children were murdered in the biggest attack on the Jewish population since the Holocaust. And people can have their opinions on the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, even though it's really Israel and Hamas fighting a proxy war for Iran. Yet Hamas didn't get the memo, whatever you do, don't fuck with Israel. Nonetheless, trying to make jokes about mass murder, that's not a good look. She has now issued an apology, although, in my opinion, or rather I'm guessing she's done it because she's realised just how much work she's about to lose. Someone else can do the voiceover for Marks and Spencer's, that'll be fine. So bad luck, Dawn, your relevant, pig-faced has-been. Yet, when mentioning the conflict between Israel and Hamas, there's another woman in the news. The Cabbage Patch doll come to life, the Swedish doom goblin, Greta Thunberg.
My name is Greta Thunberg and I am from Sweden. If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
Intercepted and kidnapped. Poor choice of words given that Hamas are still holding 55 hostages. And when did Greta give up being a climate change activist? Does that not get her the attention she so dearly craves? Because although the boat she's on is technically a sailing boat, apparently it's made the entire journey using its diesel engines. And the boat was intercepted because it was trying to punch through Israel's blockade. They were lucky the IDF didn't just blow it out of the water. Yet, Greta and her equally irritating shipmates aboard a boat that's been nicknamed the Selfie Yacht because there's so many fucking pictures of it on Instagram, said they were trying to deliver aid to Gaza. It transpires the amount of aid they had on board wasn't enough to fill a shopping trolley. So if those 12 idiots had stayed at home and just sent a food parcel each to Gaza, more aid would have got in. So here is Greta being given a drink and a sandwich that could have gone to someone in Gaza, by a member of the IDF. I suspect it's just a publicity stunt. Greta Thunberg is desperate to remain relevant. Greta famously came to prominence by bunking off school to sit outside the Swedish Parliament, claiming she was missing out on an education. Greta love, you're 23 now. Do you think it might be time to finish high school and fucking learn something? And what would have happened if the Israelis hadn't stopped them? If that boat had slipped past the blockade and actually got to Gaza? How would 12 incredibly middle-class people, mostly Westerners, have fared had they come face to face with Hamas? Now Greta, I don't think things would have gone well for her, given she's a young white woman wearing shorts. She would have been on the news, but for very, very different reasons. Now, all the visitors on their boat are being deported. Please, someone put Greta on an aeroplane. Why do so many celebrities have to weigh in on this subject? Of course, they can have their opinions. But in my opinion, both Dawn French and Greta Thunberg are making it more about themselves than the actual conflict. Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you can leave a like, a comment or share this video, that really helps with the algorithm. If you would like to support me in making these videos, there's links in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon. And as ever, thanks for watching. Before I get... Oh, fuck no. Yeah, I got a bad throat. So that's the level of comic genius Dawn French can produce when she hasn't got Jennifer Saunders writing for her. Fuck it, yes. It's famous activist, the woman with the face that suggests mummy drank a lot during pregnancy, and Swedish doom god, not and, same fucking person, Dan. So here is Greta. Fuck it. I meant to be over here for the shot.